Good morning. It's Tuesday. That means we have Tuesdays today's. Let's start with our calf stretch. You can do your calf stretch in the middle of the floor, but today let's go ahead and scooch our blocks up to the wall. So you take the left foot forward, take your fingertips on the wall, we want our feet about hip width apart. You make sure this left leg stays straight and the heel stays down, and then we pick up the back heel. And stretch your left calf. Then can you pick up the toes of your left foot? And if my hand is your foot, see if you can crush the ball of the foot into the floor, maybe lighten the pinky toe side of the left foot. Left leg stays straight, and then we switch. Shift weight to the pinky toe side, lighten the big toe side. One more breath. Super duper, you shake the left leg out. And then that same foot you just had forward, we're going to take it straight back, and we roll onto the top of the left foot, stretching out the shin. All those muscles between the toes and your knee. Can you roll a little bit more of the foot onto the floor? Nice deep breaths. And you shake the left foot out. Yay! Walk around, feel a difference in your feet on the floor. And then we switch sides. So go ahead and flip your block. Now do the same thing we did with that left foot, but now on the right. Right foot forward, right heel is down, and you lighten the back foot. Using a very light touch on the wall. Check in with this right leg. Notice if it feels more tight or less. And then we crush the ball of the foot into the floor, lighten the pinky toe side. Still keeping that right leg straight. And you switch to the pinky side. Lighten the ball of your foot. Pick up your toes. And we switch again. Now I can say good morning to you. One more breath. And then we shake that right foot out. Taking the same foot back, we roll into the top of the foot, making sure that the weight is towards the big toe side. Still using the wall if you need to for balance. One more deep breath. Try to roll more of the foot onto the floor, maybe shifting weight back. 3, 2, wiggle the toes, walk around, feel your feet. And then we'll slide this block out of the way for our chest stretch. So, Toes are about 2 to 3 inches from the wall. You take the left arm straight out to the left. Right arm catches behind the back. We roll the left shoulder down, turn the feet to the right. And you start breathing into this left shoulder. Close your eyes. Ginormously deep breaths. Inhaling directly into this meat that is typically short across the front of your shoulder. Notice where your head is looking. See if you can make sure the head's over the shoulders. You're looking straight ahead, even if your eyes are closed. One more deep breath. And now I'm going to have you peel your hand up off the wall. So the only thing now touching the wall is your wrist, right where your wrist and your hand meet. The rest of the hand is up. And now try to straighten your fingers. Ugh. Good morning. Hopefully you feel something down to the fingertips. Any numbness or tingling, you just come out. Take a break and come back as soon as you can. Very good. Get that left shoulder down. Don't change anything about the feet. Don't change anything about the shoulders. Just try to turn the hips and chest. Try to point the upper body to the right. Deep inhales. And on this last breath, you're going to try to lighten the weight that's on the wall and get the hand to hover above the wall just an inch. 3, 2, let the hand slide down. Oh, nice. We swing the arms. As you swing your arms, kindly close your eyes. Check in with left and right arm. Feel the difference. Tick-tock your head. Wonderful. And now we get second side. So toes are same position as they were before, about 2 to 3 inches from the wall. Right arm comes straight out to the right. Left arm catches behind the back. We get the left shoulder down, and then we roll this right shoulder blade away from the ear, and you lock the right arm in place, and then we turn the feet to the left. And once you've gotten as far as you think you're going to get today, check back in with your right shoulder, see if it has crept up on you. And then you breathe. Noticing any limitations you have to breathing here. Maybe noticing that the right arm feels different, tighter perhaps than the left. Very good. Now we peel the hand off the wall. So now just the wrist and the palm, just right where they meet. That's the only part that's touching the wall. The rest of the hand is up. And once you get your hand off the wall, up the wall, you're trying to straighten your fingers. Your fingies. Each inhale, you're opening up this right side of the shoulder, breathing. Imagine you could breathe only into the right side of your lungs. Expansive inhales. Very good. Check back in with your head. Make sure it's over the shoulders. Feet stay right where they are. Try to turn the upper body and the hips even more to the left. One more breath. before we start to lighten the weight of the hand on the wall. Ew-wee. Can you let it hover just an inch? For 3, right shoulder down, arch up. 2, 1, let the hand slide down. Now for some of you, there's going to be some kind of urge to stretch the shoulder, the back of the shoulder, just and all that lengthening of the front. But consider you do that all day, every day. So we're not going to stretch the back of the shoulder, given the setup for your life is looking at a screen of some sort. Right now, close your eyes as you swing your arms and feel the difference in your hands. One more breath. Wonderful. Relax your arms. Let's go ahead and stand in our normal position we would be balanced in if we were standing by the wall for single leg balance, but you're going to have your feet all the way together. The wall is super helpful just for being there. It gives your brain more data to know where you are in space. So just for a moment, look down at your feet. Make sure that the insides of your feet are touching. If you have a hard time doing that, you might need to bend the knees first, get the feet together, and then straighten your legs. And I want the feet together. And now you stand up nice and tall. Close your eyes and feel the movement of your body as you balance over your feet. Now if you can, keep your eyes closed, but pick up your toes. Try to spread your toes wide. So we have less balancing space on the floor. Your footprint is smaller with your toes up, so you're a little twitchier. So we're always allowing for the twitchiness of our feet. If you have ever worked on your handstands, or if you're working towards your handstands or forearm stands, same thing happens in your forearms and your hands when you balance. Constant movement. Because your body weight is not static. It's never in one spot. It's constantly moving, and you've got to adjust for it. Very good. One more breath. And then as you exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. You've shifted weight back. The toes are up. Now you're going to shift weight forward. Keep the chest up. Come up onto your toes. Keep the heels together. Squeeze the heels together. I'm going to roll back onto the heels. Lighten weight on the front of the toes. Pick up the toes a little bit, spread the toes, and then you're going to roll the feet on the floor, grip your toes into the floor, pick the heels up. Whoa! See, this smile is so helpful, just in case you need it. All the way back, you pick up your toes, and shift forward. Heels come straight up. You squeeze the ankles together. Just a couple more times. Heels come up. And in the beginning, your heels may not come up that high. That's all right. Just notice where they are so you can give yourself a high five next time because they've gotten better. Last one, you keep the heels up, chest arches up. Squeeze your ankles together for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Shake the legs out. And now we're going to balance on one foot. So take the left foot. We're about 16 to 18 inches from the wall. Set the right foot on top. Go ahead and catch your arms behind the back. Now all that work you were just doing on 2 feet is now on 1. So see if you can exaggerate the twitchiness of your left foot. Can you get the hips back and arch your chest up? Beautiful. You shift weight back onto the heel. You pick up your toes. And then you lean weight forward, grip your toes into the floor. Lighten the weight that's on the heel. We're not going to pick up the heel for balance. Recheck in with the left leg, make sure it's straight. And then we shift weight back, lighten the toes, pick them up. And forward. Grip with your toes. Last time we shift weight back into the heel. And then we come back to neutral. So the toes can be down. Notice if you're breathing. And now see if you can keep the connection you currently have to this left foot. You try squinting, and then if you can, you try closing your eyes. Still breathing, still staying connected to this left foot. 3, 2, open your eyes. Walk around. Shake this left leg out. And then we get our second side. So whichever direction you were facing, go ahead and turn the other way. So you have the right foot is on the outside, left leg is closest to the wall. And we come on to right foot for balance. So let that right foot twitch away. Each inhale, see if you can notice something different. Maybe that you've never noticed before, or something that you've noticed but you're experiencing it again as if for the first time. See if you can reach the hips back, lengthen the front of the body. Everything's reaching straight up, so I'm not letting the hips come forward and collapsing my back. I'm keeping this length, this work in the right hip. I want you to feel the wiggliness, the twitchiness of the right foot. And you might notice that the right foot is way more twitchy than the left. Straightenify the right leg a little bit more. See if you can feel your quadriceps turn on. And now we shift weight back, lighten the toes. Pick your toes up, spread them wide. And then we shift weight forward, you grip the toes into the floor. Lighten the weight that's on the heels. And then you shift weight back, lighten the toes. And forward. Keep on doing that. Back and forth you go. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your face. All this twitchiness, you want it to come from the right ankle. One more time, forward and back. Grip your toes. And then you shift weight back. Everything reaches up. Hips press back. Whew. And then you can try squinting your eyes. And if that feels comfortable enough, you could try closing your eyes. Either way, you're paying attention to, you're allowing all this twitchiness in the right foot. Nice deep breaths. Whoa! Handy dandy wall. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Open your eyes. Walk around. Yay. Feel your feet on the floor. And then we slide our blocks over for the legs, specifically quad burners. I like to have my blocks in their tallest dimension. Helps me focus on the movement rather than trying to get somewhere. So feet are shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, catch the hands above the thighs, above the knees, just on the thighs. First piece, you drape the belly towards the floor, get the shoulders down, you arch the chest up. Tick-tock your head. And now head comes back to center, you turn the head, look left and right. Beautiful. Back to center you go. Slide the elbows onto the thighs. We're going to come into our high squat. So normally we have you sink the hips low, but before we do that part, I'm going to have you have the hips high. Your elbows are still on the thighs. Can you relax the head off the spine? So we're coming into a back traction. So you're relaxing the head off the neck. The hips are pretty high. There should not be a whole lot of work in your legs to do this movement. There's some, but it shouldn't be a lot. I want you to try to relax. Imagine the weight of the head is pulling the bones of the spine apart towards the floor, and the hips are the thing holding the back in place. Try to breathe all the way up to the lower back. Relax your waist, your belly, your back. One more deep breath. Wonderful. Now you're going to sink the hips. Arch the chest up. And if you didn't, go ahead and check right now. Make sure your feet are parallel. Your feet parallel is a really good way to tell where your knees are. So it's not the feet piece of it, it's where your feet are pointing relative to your knees. So feet parallel is a good way to sort of think of it. And then you press your knees apart. And as the knees press apart, feet are parallel, you sink the hips a little bit deeper, and then you push through the elbows, arch your chest up. We're still draping the belly towards the floor. Shift weight back in the heels, lighten your toes. You've heard that before. It feels different than when your legs were straight, doesn't it? And now up and down we go with the hips, never quite straightening the legs, and you're trying to get as close to knee height as you can with the hips as you come down. Notice if you're holding your breath or you've started thinking about your life choices that led you to this class and any regret that might be present. So you can, instead of, you let all that stuff be there, you don't need to change it, but can you bring your attention back to breathing? Imagine you could inflate your legs with oxygen as the hips go up and down. Three, two, don't come out of this just yet. One, you sink the hips low, arch the chest up, go ahead and take your hands on the blocks. Can you keep your hands on the blocks, arms stay straight so you keep the chest from diving, sink the hips a little bit lower, even arch up onto fingertips. And if that's going well, you just let the arms hang. Ew, no. 3, 2, 1. Stack your blocks, set them aside. All the way down you go to hands and knees. Oh, yay. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Wiggle the hips. Wonderful. Now for this next move, there's a couple things that are important about it. So make sure that when I instruct how I want your leg to be out, that you check in and make sure it's that way. So we're going to shift weight over to the right leg, and I'm going to have you take the left leg straight out to the left. And typically when people do this, the pinky side of the foot is down. Make sure the pinky side of your foot is up. It's like you're trying to touch your toes to your shin. The foot is very dorsiflexed. And that's the first piece of this movement. So my leg is not back or forward. It's directly out from this left hip. And straighten the left leg. And now we drape the belly towards the floor. Arch the chest up. Notice what's happening in your hands. If you're starting to feel this in the wrists, make your hands work. So grip your fingertips, crush the index knuckles into the floor. Close your eyes. Wherever this feels challenging, you're trying to feed those muscles with oxygen, with the breath. Last inhale. Wonderful. Now, you're going to lean weight back over to the right leg. The left leg will slide in a little bit, and then you take the left knee back underneath you, all the way down onto elbows. Knees are under the hips. Give the wrists a little break. Give them a roll and a shake and a wiggle. And now fold your hands in, rest your head down. Close your eyes, feel the difference between the left and right leg, hip, waist. One more breath. And now we get second side. So you slide your hands back under the shoulders. Shift weight over to the left leg. You take the right leg straight out to the right. This leg is going to feel mighty different. Right leg is straight. You make sure the pinky toe side of the foot is not on the floor. So you're trying to touch your toes to your shin. And then once you get in position, you re-straighten the right leg, and then we drape the belly. Arch the chest up. Close your eyes. Breathe into this right side. You can try to reach the tailbone towards the ceiling. Grab your fingertips, lighten the weight of the body that's going through this, or the wrist is meeting the floor. You lighten that part of your hand. So you need to make sure the shoulders are down. One more breath. And now we shift weight over to the left leg. Let that right foot slide in a little bit. And then you take it underneath you. One more time, you fold the hands underneath the head. We rest the head down on the hands, draping the belly towards the floor. Breathing all the way down to the waist. Feel the difference in your legs. Feel your feet. One more breath. And now go ahead and slide the elbows underneath the shoulders. Walk the legs back. And here we are together in daily reading. So the elbows are under the shoulders. Forearms are parallel. You're trying to punch a hole into the ground with the arms. Tick-tock your head. Check out your wonderful neck. And then you bring your head back to neutral. You turn the head, look to the left. Shoulders down. And then you turn the head, look to the right. Beautiful. Head comes back to center. Push down through the elbows. You grip your hands into the floor. Try to slide the lower body forward as the head and shoulders reach back. Looking for a cramp along your backside. All the way up, hopefully, to the shoulder blades. Now let's start to lighten the weight that's on the elbows. See if you can push through the hands without letting the shoulders come up. You keep your shoulders down. You pick your elbows up 1 inch and you pull with the hands. Keep pulling. Squeeze your buns, pick your legs up. So that means your legs are straight and the knees are off the floor. Still pulling with the hands. You can roll the ankles. You can get any crackle or pops out. Squeeze your elbows in a little bit more, pull a little bit harder. 3, 2, try to keep your head exactly where it is. Lighten the weight that's on your hands and you take your hands on your hips. Squeeze your buns. Very good. For the first 5, you can go ahead and touch your toes down. Upper body is going to do all the work. So your head comes down, your nose touches the floor with a nice little boop, and then you pick the upper body back up. Up and down you go. Head is still. This isn't a neck movement. This is a back movement. So there's work along your back, reaching up towards the ceiling. Now you keep the upper body still moving, and now we pick up the legs. So the legs are going to come on along for the right as well. Four. 2, last one. Everything stays up. For 3, 2, make your hand pillow and rest your head down on it. You wiggle your hips. And now you give up any tension you can. I highly recommend closing, of course, but especially when we're in these moments where we're feeling work that we've just done. Why I get up in the morning, why I do this stuff is so you get a chance to feel better. And it's so nice for this hour you get to pay attention to you. And it's distinct from paying attention to any complaining or judging you may do on yourself. It's aside from that. You actually get to experience your body. It's such a gift that you're giving to yourself. So as you inhale, notice the feel of your body on the floor. Notice if you're holding on to tension in your neck. Feel what it's like to breathe. Just noticing. Bend the knees, pick your feet up. Before we tick-tock, roll the ankles. Wiggle your toes. And then you tick-tock the shins side to side. See if you can keep tick-tocking the shins, but slide your shoulders, your elbows back under your shoulders for daily reading. If this is too intense, you just rest your head back down, but it sure is nice. Tick-tock the shins. Still pushing down through the elbows, keeping the shoulders down. Very good. All right. Legs come all the way down to the floor. Push down through the elbows. You keep your shoulders basically where they are. And now we're going to slide the hands low, close to the hips. So pretty close. If you have your hands too close to the shoulders, you can get some issues with the shoulders, so we want to keep the hands down. And once your hands get as close to the hips as they're going to do, now you're going to get the shoulders down, arch the chest up. The first part of the movement, you're using just the back. The second part, you keep using the back, but you also add the hands and straighten the arms, and we're in up dog. For the first one, go ahead and tick-tock your head. We're just going to do 5 of these. There we go. Your head comes back to the center, bend the elbows, roll the belly onto the floor, and then upper body comes up first. You keep the back contracting, and then you add the arms. Straighten the arms. That was 2. Slow and easy. Straighten the arms completely as you come up. Last one. You stay up. We do our little twists here. Tick-tocks. I like to call them alligators. You're going to lean, look over the left shoulder, and then you switch. The hip can open up. So as I twist looking to the right hip comes up. And the same thing as I go over to the left. Oh, so good. Here we go. Grip your hands. Wonderful. I push all the way up on the hands and knees, and I'm going to have you spin around, take your legs in front of you. We're going to move into our twist. So your feet are as wide as your mat. Arch your chest up. Go ahead and tick-tock the knees. Side to side. Very good. You stay right where you are. You're going to end up facing away from me for our twist this morning. So that with the feet wide, you're going to drop the knees over to the left, and then you walk your arms around all the way until your elbows get down to the mat behind you. And once you get into the position, you relax the belly. Take one deep breath. And then you walk the elbows away from that front knee a little further away, over to your left. Close your eyes. One more deep breath. And now right about where the elbows are, you slide the hands. You push down through this left hand, straighten the arms, you get the left shoulder away from the left ear as you peek over that shoulder. And there are 2 ways to do this. There is where you use the front of the body, abdomen, as sort of a corkscrew towards the floor. I want you to see if you can feel your back doing the work to pull the left shoulder down and have you see your foot behind you. If you can feel any work in the back, try to relax abdomen, belly. Push this left hand into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Very nicely done. We untwist towards the front of your mat again. Feet wide. Chest arches up. Tick-tock the knees. Check it out. So good. And the next time your knees get over to the right, you keep them there for the second side twist. So keep the knees on the right. Take the elbows all the way down to the floor. If for some reason the left elbow doesn't come down today, that's just fine. Don't worry about it. Your job is to keep doing the whole thing called breathing. And then you walk the elbows over to the right. Deepen your twist. The longer you can inhale and fight for inhalation, and that is distinct from holding your breath. So as I inhale and I get to the top of the inhale, I keep my throat open. I'm still fighting to get oxygen into the lungs. Even if it's just a tiny weeny bit, it counts. The more I'm able to do that as I exhale from that kind of an inhale, the deeper my twists will be. Relax your belly. One more deep inhale. And you slide your hands underneath the shoulders. Push down through your right arm. Straighten the right arm as you lean back. Remember, we're trying to get the back to do the pulling here. So I'm not using abdomen, I'm using my back. So there's a length along the front of the body. As I peek over this right shoulder, spying my left foot behind me. Same idea here, how long can you inhale? Trying to get the upper sections of the ribs to move as you take those breaths. And then we untwist from that. Locate a block. We're going to lie over it. So you make sure there's enough space overhead for you to do this and a little extra room for your arms. Hang tens width, where the tailbone ends, the thumb begins, where the pinky ends, the block begins. And then you making sure the hips stay down. The hips are not allowed to come up. You lie all the way back over the block. If you can't quite get your head down, you take a block and set it underneath your head. If you can get the block down, the head down over a block, but it's just excruciating, set a block underneath your head or a pillow, something to elevate the head a little bit. And once you are able to relax in this position, you can play around with removing it. But you want to have yourself in a position where the hips can be down. We're trying to do the opposite of what you look like all day. So if you imagine what you look like sitting in your car or at your desk, it is not like this. It is in quite the opposite position. So rectus abdominis is short, all the musculature across the front of the chest is short. And if this is hard for you, just know that this is your antidote to back pain. This is the way we help all that stuff work better. Nice deep breaths, closing your eyes, feeling your body melt over the block. Notice if you're holding your breath as a way to not feel what's going on, particularly in lower back, but it could be in the chest. There are certain places in the body we don't want any pain. The neck is one of them. So you don't want ever any pain in the neck or the knees or the wrists. And the reality is there's only one person on this planet that knows your body. And so if you ignore it, or you don't pay attention to it, then there's a way that you're setting yourself up for failure. And it can be intense. So the way you figure out what the line is, where your edges are so you don't pass your edges, is you have to do it by feel. And so if it gets too intense, you back off and you check back in. Are you okay? And then you try it again. And what I found for myself is, first of all, I used to get injured all the time. I was in health and fitness, a trainer for years, have an extensive background in all things fitness. And one of the things that fitness doesn't have, that we're pretty rigorous about practicing, is the element called paying attention. So this simple thing called breathing and feeling your body is quite advanced, actually. And it takes time to cultivate this capacity. So as you're lying here, trying to relax over the block, breathing, feeling. Go ahead, bend the knees, slide your feet to flat. With the feet as wide as your mat, you tick-tock the knees. And it's been nice since I've started doing the yoga better practice. I have found that I can do so much more than I ever could. I have freedom of movement. I don't feel as scared of my body as I used to. Everything works so much better. And so every word out of my mouth, especially when it comes to form, is so that you feel better. And the game is to stay uninjured. Knees come back to the center. Go ahead and wiggle the feet all the way back together. You're going to push your hips into the block, pick your lower back up off the block. So my hips are down, like I'm pushing down through the head a little bit, through the hips. I've lightened the weight that's on the back. If you try this and you feel nothing, trust me, something's happening, even if you can't quite taste it yet. Giving yourself a reason to be strong in these ranges of motion. So we're looking very similar as we did when we were in daily reading. There's some different elements here, the obvious, but this strength is what I want you to be really good at in lower back. So you keep the contraction lower back, now you pick up your feet. Very good. Now with the feet up, you tick-tock the knees. So we roll onto the right hip. As the knees drop over to the right, left hip comes up, and then you switch. Still breathing. Very nice. One more tick-tock each way. And the knees come back to the center. You keep the hips down, keep arching the chest up. Try to straighten your legs. A little less, still keeping lower back up off the block. Woohoo! Feel the shake of your legs as you arch up even more. Try to straighten the legs even more for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Set the feet down. We're going to roll right on off the block. Get rid of it and roll straight back onto your back. Go ahead and feel underneath your back. Make sure there's still space between lower back and the floor. And then you get the shoulders down a little bit further. Close your eyes. Feel your body. Notice any details that are different. Can you breathe freer? Feel the arms on the floor. Relax your jaw. All the meat around your neck. Down to the shoulders and the hands. Each inhale, you feel the body expand with oxygen. And as you exhale, you give up tension. Give over to gravity. Let the floor hold you up. Now slowly, sweetly roll your head on the floor. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Make a fist. You roll your wrists and ankles. Bend the knees. Feet come to flat. Get Get the shoulder blades down. Take your arms up overhead. Tick-tock your knees. Yay! You did it. All we have to do is stand up and straighten you up a little bit for the rest of your wonderful day. Shoulders come back down, arms come down, we roll onto the side. Ooh, yeah. And you make your way upright. And as you make your way upright, tick-tock the head, especially once you get to standing. I don't want to ignore any lightheadedness. Okay, palms face up. You imagine you have a bowl of soup in either hand. Thumbs try to point towards the floor as I pivot on the elbows. Reach the wrists away from one another. Elbows kick forward. Get the shoulders down. As the shoulders reach down towards your hips, head reaches up. How tall can you be? And now you get your hips back over the heels. Tick-tock your head. Very good. Head comes back to center. Turn the head left and right. And then one more time back to center. Deep breath. And as you exhale, close your eyes, relax your arms. Check back in. Feel the weight of your arms hanging off the ends of your shoulders. Feel the head reaching up. Feel the work that your feet are doing even now to keep you balanced. And just like that, our hour is complete. Thank you so much for your hard work and your time. As always, it's such an honor to get to be here with you. If you have any questions, feel free to message us. Self high fives. Have a fabulous, fabulous Tuesday. Bye, Barbara, Mom, Dad, Dan, and Jamie, Eleanor, Judy. It's so great to have you guys. Bye.